According to market research conducted by the Exit Planning Institute, approximately 76% of small to medium-sized business owners plan to transition over the next 10 years, representing over 4.5 million businesses and over $10 trillion in wealth. And yet 49% have no transition plan. More than 70% of businesses that are put on the market do not sell, and only roughly 30% of family-owned businesses survive the transition to the second generation. What's more, even owners who have done some degree of planning often expect their transition to be seamless and to ride off into the sunset with a bag of cash in exchange for their company. I'm K.C. Smith, and welcome to the Henssler Financial Small Business Minute. Today, we're going to talk about the terms of the deal and how these terms may impact the attractiveness of an offer on your company. The fact is, just because someone says they're willing to buy your company for $10 million doesn't mean you'll walk away from the table with $10 million in a lump sum. It also doesn't mean your obligation as an owner stops there. Sometimes, depending on your personal financial situation, a lower offer could mean more cash in your pocket or be better for your specific needs. Price is only one component of the transaction. The other components, or terms, can make or break a deal from the perspective of both the seller and the buyer. Let's briefly discuss a few other terms that may be relevant from the current owner's perspective. First, form of payment. Is this a cash deal, or is some of the price going to be paid in the form of stock or debt? Somewhere between 60 to 90% of small business sales involve some form of seller financing, in which the current owner provides a loan to the buyer to cover all or a portion of the sales price. This is especially common in the case of the sale of the company to family, key employees, management, or other insider. Seller financing can be beneficial by providing much needed liquidity to facilitate the transaction, offering a quicker closing, or even enabling the owner to receive a higher price on the sale. Seller financing may also help with a tax bite on the transaction, since the payments are spread out over time. On the downside, financing the sale carries risk of default, less capital available for your immediate consumption or investment, and of course will typically require some continued involvement in the business, especially if you want to better your odds of getting paid back. Another key term to consider is whether any portion of the sales price will be paid in the form of an earnout. In an earnout situation, the buyer pays the seller a portion of the sale price up front, but the remainder is paid over a predetermined period when the owner or the company hits certain performance metrics. Earnouts can be tricky because the owner usually doesn't have control of the business anymore, so the performance of the company after the sale can be out of your hands. This is a substantial risk. It also requires your continued involvement with the business for a few years, typically 2 to 5. So forget about playing 36 holes a day or sitting on the beach sipping Mai Tais, at least for the next few years. A third key term to be evaluated is the legal structure of the transaction. Determining whether the deal is an asset sale, stock sale, or some combination can have large tax and legal consequences. Generally, a buyer will prefer an asset sale, since it will allow them to receive a step up in the depreciable basis in the company's assets. Typically, the buyer can also avoid inheriting potential liabilities from the seller in this type of sale. A seller, on the other hand, will typically prefer a stock sale in order to receive more favorable capital gains tax treatment on the transaction and potentially avoid future liabilities associated with the company's products, contracts, or benefit plans. There are many other deal terms that should not be overlooked, including escrow arrangements, due diligence period, closing costs, expenses, non-compete clauses, and a litany of other considerations. So, how do you know if you're getting the best offer? It all comes down to your specific situation and what you need or want out of the deal. If you absolutely must exit the business as soon as possible, say for health reasons, then you would likely be willing to accept a lower cash offer as opposed to a higher price with earnouts or seller financing. On the flip side, if your business is stable with predictable cash flows and growth rates, and you don't need a lump sum for your retirement plan, you may be okay with or even welcome earnouts as a way to help transition the business for your existing employees and provide a soft landing from an income perspective. It is very important to understand how ready you are to sell. Have you done your diligence in terms of personal financial planning? If you fail to receive 100% of the earnout, would you and your family be okay? How much thought have you put into what you plan to do after the sale? The decision to sell your business is not an easy one. It takes a lot of time, patience, and most importantly, planning to make sure that you do it right. For many business owners, their business is far and away their largest financial asset, so it benefits you greatly to start planning early. Our exit planning experts here at Henssler Financial are here to help ensure you are on the path to making the best decision. I'm K.C. Smith, Certified Exit Planning Advisor with Henssler Financial. Thank you for watching this month's Small Business Minute.